podcast. Okay, it's already starting now. The recording will the recording is already started now. Okay, so again, good evening, everyone. So welcome again to our crop science, and this is the lesson two or unit two of crop science, and that is classification of crops. So our discussion for tonight is classification of crops. Since we are done with the concept of crop science with the definition of agriculture, how agriculture is important and relevant to our economy. So that's very important for you to know because that is a current events that always come out during the board examination. Kasi sa board exam, meron talagang lumalabas na mga ganun, mga questions. No? Kaya nga, dapat updated po tayo. Okay? And you should aware of the things na, the things that changing, ganon, mga updates na nakikita ninyo, and dapat nga nagfa-follow kayo sa mga pages sa Facebook, di ba, sa Facebook page tulad ng mga Bureau of Crop Protection, may mga ganun center, dapat nagla-like kayo doon, nagfa-follow kayo. Kasi as you're going to look at your news feed sa Facebook, at least madaanan siya ng mata ninyo, at least at the same time mabasa ninyo and you are aware of it. So ibig sabihin malawak na yung pangunawa niya. Ay, hindi na nakita ko na, na-encounter ko na yan, ganon. So at least alam niyo na, alam niyo na okay, alam ko to, nadaanan ko na to. Okay? So yun. So that is one of my advice sa inyo, na kailangan malawak yung connections ninyo. Sa mga UPLB, sa mga CAFs, lalo na yung sa crop protection, yung sa entomology, madami silang pinopost na mga insects. Yun. Napaka-updated din nila at the same time. Okay? So, ayun. So, let's proceed now. Ito yung discussion. This is the topic that we did not discuss last meeting kasi hindi siya na-include sa aking presentation. So, again, and also, I included this one in your post-test, di ba? So always remember that there is important events in agriculture, which is the Green Revolution. So ano nga ba yung Green Revolution? Ano ba yan, sir? Puro tanim lang lahat, ganon? No, it's not just puro tanim. It talks about how this specific person, parang hero na rin din siya pag ganon, save the nation or save the community, no? By using agriculture. Okay? By using agriculture. So we have here the Green Revolution initiated in the year 1940s. Sabi nga ng mama ko, in the year 1940s, sabi niya pa, siyempre hindi pa pinapanganak ng mama ko yung time na yan. Yan din yung mga time na, sabi ng lolo, na sinabi ng lolo ko na, na mahirap yung mga tao nung time na yan. Especially pagdating sa agrikultura, mahirap talaga sila kasi some of the crops is not provided, some of the parang nagkukulang sa supply, gano'n, nung time nung 1940s. Pero organic ang ginagamit ng mga tao. So hindi pa masyadong kilala kasi because we are still we are still colonized by an Americans nung time na yun. And then but soared in the late 1960s. So ayun, so hanggang naging sikat yung Green Revolution. Initiated siya noong 1940s at naging sikat siya noong 1960s. So doon nakilala ang farming nung time na yon, so 1960. So sino ang nag-lead? Sino ang naging leader ng Green Revolution? It was Dr. Norman Borlaug. Okay? So it was Dr. Norman Borlaug who is considered as the father of the Green Revolution because of his contribution to the field of agriculture. Okay, and a Nobel Peace Prize fellow. So nanalo siya ng Nobel Peace Prize, and who is credited for saving over 1 billion people. Imagine, ikaw mag-isang tao, so you are thinking of how you're going to save the billion of people from starvation, starvation due to the development of high-yielding varieties of cereal grains, more efficient irrigation infrastructures, modern agricultural techniques, hybrid crops, synthetic fertilizers, and pesticides. So ano nga ba ibig sabihin, sir, ng development of high-yielding varieties of cereal grains? Noong unang panahon, wala pang, kasi noong 1940s, hindi pa masyadong upgraded when it comes to innovation, hindi pa masyadong kilala yung word na innovation noong time na yon. So the technology in 1940s, hindi pa siya, let's say, ilagay na lang natin yung isipan natin na like an old one, like they are still using the cultural method or the traditional method, kung ano talaga yung gawain ng mga matatanda, kung paano sila masanay na mag-farm, ganun pa rin yung kanilang method na ginagamit. Okay, so that's why in the time of Dr. Norman Borlaug, no, nag-develop siya. So he upgraded or developed something, let's say varieties of cereal crops like rice, corn, wheat, no, or sorghums, no, para mapabigay or tumaas yung yield, tumaas yung income, profit, or mabigyan ng supplies ang mga mabigyan ng supplies ang billion of people. Okay? So, paano ba, sir? What do you mean by high yielding, sir? It is not just talking about the profit. If you are a businessman, you are talking about a higher profit. So, in order for you to get a higher profit, of course, you have a greater production. Dapat malawak yung production mo or production mo. Kasi nga, farm production mo, para din malawak din yung iyong profit. At the same time, pag sa high yielding po kasi, andyan na yung tinatawag natin na efficient irrigation infrastructures. Ibig sabihin po niyan ay yung tamang irrigation, paano ano ba yung ginagamit mong irrigation? It's either sprinkler irrigation, drip irrigation, no? So there's a lot of types of irrigation that and it is all use and efficient. So ano ibig sabihin ng efficient? Yung available lagi at saka aside from available lagi at saka available and then pwedeng magamit, no, sa kahit anong sa farm. Pwede talaga magamit, ma-maximize yung irrigation na yon. And then modern agricultural techniques. So ano yung modern agricultural techniques? Of course, dapat our technology is up to date. Yon. Dapat ang technology natin is up to date. 'Di ba nga pag nagre-review tayo, we are not getting a reference that is outdated na. Though some of our manuals, no, some of the manuals that we are reading are coming from the outdated one, but because they are the foundation. Always remember, yung old manual na yan, they are the foundation. Ano ibig sabihin ng updated na manual na sinasabi ni Sir? Yung updated manual or updated technologies, nakuha pa rin nila yung idea from the old one. Okay? So para may dinagdag lang sila ng mga information that is that is resulted sa mga research. Yun. Kasi meron tayong mga scientists ngayon, meron tayong mga researchers ngayon. So that's why, sa mga board examiner, ang ginagawa nila sa board exam, updated din. So dapat tayo, nagre-review tayo, updated din yung ating manual na ginagamit. That's why, sister, ina-update ko siya from time, like example, this year, next year na naman, iba na naman ang updates yan. So depende sa flow ng exam. Okay, so we have also hybrid crops. Okay, so we have hybrid crops. What do you mean by hybrid crops? Pag sinabi nating hybrid crops, it means those crops that are what? Suitable, no? Suitable sa soil, suitable sa climate, yon. Sa lahat ng factors na affected ng isang crops, dapat suitable siya, no? Hybrid at the same time, mahal at masarap siyang kainin, no? Isa din 'yan. So masarap siya kung i-consume ng tao, ulit-ulitin ng tao, mahal din siya yung value niya. Okay? And then we have aside din sa hybrid, pag sinabing hybrid crops, dapat itong type na crops na to is resistance, yon, tolerance and resistance to pests and diseases. Okay? And then we have also synthetic fertilizer. So nung time sa ni Dr. Norman Borlaug, no, inintroduce niya na rin yung synthetic fertilizers. So ano nga ba yung synthetic fertilizers? From the word itself, synthetic, it means chemical. Okay? So mga fertilizers na gawa or formulated sa chemical. Okay? So marami tayong ngayon mga synthetic fertilizers. Okay? But as agriculturists, also I am a licensed agriculturist and you are soon to be a licensed agriculturist, but you are now an agriculturist as bachelors, no, graduate ng agriculturist, soon to be maging licensed agriculturist na kayo, okay? Always remember and always promote organic farming, okay? Hindi po natin gawain ng mag-recommend ng mga synthetic farming or chemical farming. Always po natin ilalagay sa utak natin yan. No, nag-aral po tayo ng ilang taon sa kolehiyo, no, hindi po para matuto ng synthetic fertilizers or synthetic agriculture or chemical agriculture or chemical or chemistry, ganon. Hindi po ganon. Nag-aaral po tayo ng agrikultura because we want to promote organic agriculture. Okay? Ulitin ko, no? Dapat organic po ang nasa isipan natin. If you are, let's say, if you are ano tawag dyan, nagtatrabaho kayo. Meron kasi ganito, may mga company kasi na nagpo-propose or they are promoting their products, which is some of them are inorganic products, no, especially yung mga pesticides, fertilizers, no, na inorganic. No, I know na, let's say, some of you here is one of that employee, no, so, of course, ang first po dapat natin na if our client cannot let's say afford to buy or to let's say afford to purchase a synthetic fertilizers or synthetic pesticides, so of course our recommendation should be let's say 60% of our recommendation should be organic agriculture. Okay? Ano na ba yung mga organic agriculture? So meron tayo yung mga natural farming products. So meron tayo yung mga FPJ, FFJ, IMO. Those are marami pa po dyan. So those are example of mga fertilizers and pesticides, and those are organic. Okay, meron pa tayo vermicast, vermity, no, pinag-aralan po natin yan nung tayo ay nasa kolehiyo. So yun po ang lagi natin tatandaan. So noong panahon ni Dr. Norman Burlaog, bakit po nagkaroon ng synthetic fertilizers? Because they are aiming to prevent starvation of billion of people nung time na yon. So that's why they proceed to synthetic fertilizers. I mean, that's actually the second option. If I were you, pag nasa DA na kayo and you are working in the regulatory or saan pa kayo, if you are assigned in the rice and corn program, may mga yan, rice and corn program, kasaba high value crops program, may mga ganyan yan designated na area yan sa DA, no? Always remember na to at least to promote organic agriculture, okay? Baga nagiging second option na lang natin ang chemical if the pests and diseases is masyadong madami or malaki na ang malaki na yung kanyang na damage or large scale na talaga yung na damage niya, that's the time na tayo pwedeng mag-recommend ng mga chemical because syempre ang process kasi, ang effect kasi ng chemicals guys is madali lang, no? Madali lang yung effect ng chemicals, like say a minute, a second, a minute or an hour, there is already a result, no? After you apply a synthetic fertilizers or pesticides, okay? However, pag ginamitan mo kasi ng organic yan, matagal yung kanyang effect. Pero, always remember, kahit matagal, pero panghabang buhay siya, pang long term. While synthetic, pang short term lang siya. No? Kaya kadalasan kasi sa mga farmer, they are using synthetic because they want to see immediately the result of their application. Okay? So, kahit slow lang yan ang effect niya, pero pag once nasanay na yung lupa nyo or yung environment ng inyong farm po, magiging abundant yung farm at the same time, magiging abundant po yung farm at the same time po ay pang long term po yung pesticides or fertilizers. Okay? So, lagi po ninyong tatandaan yan. Okay? That's how you're going to, of course, promote it to the farmers. Okay, now let's proceed to the classification of crops, which there are about 2 types of systems of classification. Actually, madaming classification of crops, but we are only focusing to those important classification because they are only there are only the systems recognizable sa crops, okay? To classify, okay? So do we have classification? First is classification. Now, what do you mean by classification? Classification, establishment of hierarchical system of categories on the basis of presumed natural relationships among organisms. So, ano ibig sabihin po nito? So, i-highlight lang ni Sir Ha. Just give me one moment. I'll get my pen here. So, sabi dito, classification, okay? Hierarchical. Yan, hierarchical system. Ano ibig sabihin ng hierarchical or hierarchy? Okay, ano ibig sabihin yan? Ibig sabihin may pagkasunod-sunod from top, middle, and then bottom. Ganun po ibig sabihin ng hierarchical. No, from top 1, top 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, there is an hierarchical categories. Okay? On the basis of presume of natural relationships among organisms. Ang ibig sabihin ng natural relationships, of course, siyempre, yung mga families, orders, species, okay, so classes, they are being recognized according to the natural relationships. O ano yung naturally nakikita ninyo sa paligid ninyo, they are being recognized or classified according to its relationships. O, hindi pwedeng si Bugs ay pamilya ni Beetle. Hindi pwedeng, si Bugs tuloy. Hindi pwede si, let's say, ganito na, example. Hindi pwede si si Mosquito ay maging family ni Beetle. Okay, so hindi pwedeng ganun, ha? So, they are being classified accordingly. And then we have taxonomy. Okay? Pag sinabing taxonomy, so ito lumalabas lagi sa exam ito, ang taxonomy. Ano ibig sabihin ng taxonomy? Pag sinabing taxonomy, yan yung pinapangalanan mo, yung science of naming, describing, classifying organisms, and includes all plants, animals, and microorganisms of the world. O, hindi lang siya sa crops ina-apply, but also sa animals and microorganisms. Di ba nga yung mga bacteria, fungi, virus, nematodes, lahat ng yon ay organize natin, di ba? Kina-classify natin kung saan sila ano. Ito bacteria ito virus ito, no? Because we are making or we are naming, describing, and classifying organisms. Oh, kuha. Oh, sa tao, how we describe sa tao? Oh, by using family name, 'di ba? Oh, ito family niya, ito yung blood niya, si blood niya ganito siya, ganon. So ito yung mga kapamilya niya, so ito yung mga kalahi niya. So that's what we call taxonomy. Okay? Again, pag sinabing naming, naming, describing, classifying organisms is what we call taxonomy. So ano din po ba yung nomenclature? Okay, there's a word, term na lumabas din, which is actually sa ano lang to, sa entomology, that is nomenclature. Pag sinabing nomenclature, it means it is also the naming of, naming or classifying insects. Yon. Okay? That is nomenclature, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, nomenclature. So, actually, dadaanan naman natin yan sa crop protection. So, yun lang. May na-encounter kasi ako na word na nomenclature. Okay? So, and then, so why do we classify organisms? So, bakit po natin kinaklasify ang organism? Kasi first and foremost, we want to know kung saan siya under, di ba? We want to know kung sino yung kapamilya niya, di ba? O, kasi example, let's say, mangga. O, ano naman, meron tayong iba-ibang klaseng mangga, right? Meron tayong ibang klases ng mangga, tulad ng manggang Indian, mangga Carabao, di ba? So, maraming klaseng mangga. So, can we, let's say, tapos meron namang star apple. So, meron din ibang family or klase-klaseng type ng star apple. O, bakit natin sila kinaklasify? Let's say we are going to graft. We are going to do a grafting method. Grafting method. Ano ba yung graft? Di ba? Meron tayong klase-klaseng grafting method. We have cliff type of grafting method. We have V-shape. Di ba? So, actually, di-discuss naman natin yan. So, alangan naman i-graft natin yung nagiging mother plant natin, si mangga. Tapos, kukuha tayo ng Zion sa star apple. Kukuha tayo ng Zion, pangdikit natin doon. So, that's why we need to know yung saan siya classify. No? Dapat, pag mangga lang din. Okay? So, pwede kaya ang mangga sa star apple? Can you imagine that? Can we use mango grafted with star apple? So what we are going to consider? Of course, star apple is producing what? Who can answer? Can we graft a mango and star apple with star apple? What do you think? Pwede ba kaya? Of course, hindi. Kasi, yes, hindi yan talaga. Kasi nga ang Sir Apple, meron siyang dagta. Okay, meron siyang dagta. Tsaka iba yung, alam mo yung dagta? I don't know what's the real, in English term. So, meron siyang dagta. Okay, so parang ano yung pang sa rubber ba? Ganon. So, hindi sila pwede. Okay? Meron nga ano manggawani. You know what's manggawani? Yung mangga na pag kinain mo, maano ka, mapapaso yung ano mo, yung labi mo. Pag kinain mo yung ano niya, yung parang base part niya. Okay? So yun, meron ding yung mangga na yan, hindi siya pwede i-graft. Kasi malakas din yung kanyang dagta. Yung dagta ba yung, di ba, pag kinukuha niyo yung mangga, may natutulo na pulang puti-puti na liquid yun. Dagta. Ewan ko ba ano tawag niya sa Tagalog. Okay, next. So there are three classifications. Okay, so we have artificial, natural, and phylogenetic classification. So these are the classification that we are going to discuss now. So first is we have the artificial classification. Bakit siya tinawag na artificial classification? Kasi ito yung system of classification that uses one or two morphological characteristics for grouping organisms. Okay. So, ano ibig sabihin kaya ng ano po ibig sabihin ng morphological characteristics? Ang ibig sabihin po ng morphological characteristics, ito po yung nakikita ninyo sa panlabas. 'Di ba? Sa labas, 'di ba sa plants, nakikita niyo talaga externally yung sa labas. Example, ito, this one here. This one is what we call morphological. This one also is morphological. So this is an example of morphological, and this one also is morphological. Di ba? Sa kita ninyo sa labas, kung ano yung nakikita ninyo sa labas, we have the stem, the flower, the leaves, no? Those are morphological characteristics. Always remember, pag sinabing morphological, physical yan, physical characteristics. Pag sinabing physiological characteristics, sa loob po yan. Okay? Sa loob. Kaysa sa internal or the system inside the plants. Okay. Alright. Can you hear me loud and clear? Nawala yung ano ko, nawala yung signal ko kasaglit. Okay, very good. Nawala tayo may saglit. Okay, so medyo nawala lang signal saglit. Okay, next is another definition is based on easily observable characteristics. So yun ang artificial classification ha, morphological characteristics, and based on easily observable characteristics such as growth habit. So we have the trees, shrubs, vines, etc. or floral characteristics, number of stamen, and carpels. So that's why, no, pag tinatanong tayo, pag example, yung teacher natin, pag sinasabi niya, okay, now you're, let's say, you classify now, classify mo yung rice. So, eto, i-classify mo ito. Pag tinanong sa inyo, ilan yung Ilan yung ano niya? Ano yung floral characteristics niya? Ano yung ano niya? Ano yung growth sa habit niya? So, that means a artificial classification. Tinatanong ng teacher ninyo yung artificial classification. Okay? So, sabi dito, based on observable characteristics, growth as such as growth habits. So, pwede trees, shrubs, vines, etc. So, pwede trees, shrubs, vines, or herbs. No? Merong ganyan. So, pag malaman, ito trees, ito shrubs, ito vines, ito. Okay? So, that is how you're going to classify artificial or floral characteristics. Yun na, malaman ninyo kung ilan yung, di ba meron tinanong sa board exam kung ilan daw yung, tawag dun, ano, yung sa rice nga, nakalimutan ko yung ito, Alam mo yung term niya, nakalimutan ko na. Okay.
Panicle, sir.
Ha?
Panicle.
Yes, yung panicle, sorry. Yung panicle pa. So, the panicle, so, tinatanong doon kung ilan yung panicle ng rice. So, ayan, that's how you're going to classify artificial. And then, examples, so if we have examples here of the artificial classification, we have the Theophrastus, okay, which is known as the father of botany. Sino ang father of botany? It is the Theophrastus because he classified plants into trees, shrubs, undershrubs, and herbs. So actually, si Theophrastus also, one of the contribution niya is to naming plants also or crops. Okay, and then we have Linnaeus. Again, si Linnaeus is father of plant taxonomy kasi siya yung may pinakamadaming na classify na plants, no? 'Di ba mapansin ninyo, may mga scientific name na nakalagay sa pinakahuling as pangatlong word is Linnaeus or minsan L lang or LI. It means under the family of Linnaeus. Okay? So, ayun. So we have Linnaeus, which is the father of plant taxonomy, and published a sexual system of classification. So ano nga ba ang sexual system of classification? Pag sinabing sexual system of classification, it is the use of the seeds. No, hindi siya ginagamitan ng artificial method. Okay? So next is we have number 2, natural system of classification. So what do you mean by natural system? Of classification. We have takes into consideration comparable study of number of characters so as to bring out natural similarities and dissimilarities and hence natural relationships of organisms. Okay? Ano ibig sabihin kaya nito? Ang natural. Pag na-word itself, natural. Kikita. Naturally. Ganon. So, takes into consideration comparable study. Ano ibig sabihin ng comparable study? So, you're going to make research about it. Kung meron na bang nakapag-research about dito or nakapag-classify about dito. Baka mayroong comparable study of a number of characters. So as to bring out natural similarities. No? Siyempre, hindi ka man pwede agad-agad mag-identify ng isang species kung itong species na to ay already been identified. Dapat alamin mo muna kung meron siyang comparable or meron siyang kahawi. Kung wala, so that's the time na pwede mo siyang i-discover. Or ang sabi nila sa'yo is, ano ka daw? Basta discovery. And then we have dissimilarities and hence natural relationships of organisms. Pag naging natural siya, naturally classified siya, it means unique, it means hindi pa siya na-classified kahit kanino. Or kahit sino. Sorry. And then we have also considers not only external characters, but most importantly, ultrastructures, anatomy, embryology, phytochemistry, etc. So there are a lot of things that you need to consider in order for you to classify a natural system. So hindi lang sa panlabas or the morphological characteristics, but also the physiological characteristics of it. Not just also the physiological, but also the ultrastructure, the anatomy, the embryology, paano siya tutubo, paano siya ng ganito, ganyan. So yeah, phytochemistry also when it comes to genetics, ay pag-uusapan din siya. Okay, so dapat malaman muna bago i-classify as natural system. Example, we have George Bentham and Joseph Hooker. They are the expert on the natural system of classification, they contributed a classification of flowering plants. So, actually, meron na akong copy nung time na yan. One of their contribution about the classification of flowering crops is yung gomamela. As in, common siya ang gomamela as natural system of classification. So, there are actually different varieties of gomamela. So, may mga variegated din na mga gomamelas. So, ayun. So, one of their example sa kanilang classification is yung gomamela. Si Webster George Bentham and Joseph Hooker. Okay? Next is we have number 3, phylogenetic classification. Okay, from the word itself, genetic, no, or evolution. Ganun po ibig sabihin yan. Genetic, genesis, ganon ang term. Genetic, genesis, evolution, pinagmulan, origin, ganon. Ganon po ibig sabihin ng phylogenetic. Okay, classification. So plants are classified according to evolutionary status. Reflects the evolutionary relationships of organisms to draw an evolutionary family tree. Ano ibig sabihin yan, no? Phylogenetic classification, dito kinaklasify kung saan sila under na family. Ito, kadugo ito ni ano, kadugo ito ni ganito, no? Ito, family pala ito ni ganyan. So, ito, ano to siya? Apo ni ano, apo ito ni ganyan, apo ito ni ganito. Okay? So, that's why, no, tinawag siyang phylogenetic classification kasi inaalam mo yung kanyang evolutionary history. Yung history niya, yung sino yung mga family under dyan sa kanya. Okay? Examples, we have si A. Engler and a K. Pronte. Ang alam ko lang dito sa A. Engler is a German biologist. Yun lang pag-alam ko dyan, si A. Engler lang. Started with simplest flowering plants and ended with flowers with more complex structures. So, paano nagkaroon ng complex flowers with more complex structures? Because si Engler and Prunty naghanap sila ng paraan, no, to know the evolutionary relationships. Yun. The history or evolutionary family tree ng isang crops. Okay? Next, we have another classification or another system of classification. We have what we call the botanical system. Okay, botanical system. It is the system made by Linnaean or Linnaeus. Okay, so utilizes the 7 categories. You have the kingdom as the head. So you have here. So we're going to put here. Example, this one here is kingdom sa pinakataas. Okay, we have the kingdom. Division followed by division, followed by class, divided into class. We have order, divided to order, family, okay, divided into family, genus, and lastly, we have species. And pag sinabi natin sa plants, there are also what we call varieties. Okay? So, pag sa animals, ang plus is breeds. Yun, breeds. Hindi, variety, breeds, yun. So, in many instances, an additional category of variety is needed. Pag maraming varieties. Okay? So, that's what we call botanical system. Okay? Pero yan, ang botanical po ay common na ginagamit yan sa laboratory. Okay? Ginagamit talaga namin sa laboratory yan. At saka, dinidiscuss din na sa inyo eh. And also, number 2, we have agronomic classification. So what is agronomic classification? A basis for classification is mainly the use or purpose for growing the crops regardless of scale of production. So, ibig sabihin ng agronomic classification, ito yung basis ng classification that is mainly use or purpose for growing the crop. Ayun. So, ano nga ba yung basis ng classification na yon? So, saang purpose ba siya? Growth habit ba? Anong characteristic ba? Ganon. So, regardless sa scale of production. Diba sinabi ko sa inyo, pag agronomy, parang deep study na siya ng isang crops. So, that's what we call agronomic classification. Okay? Okay, next we have horticultural classification. So what do you mean by horticultural classification? This is a classification is based mainly on cultural requirement and the ultimate use of the crop. Within each group, subgroupings are created by on nature, culture, use, and growth habit of the plants. So ano nga ba yung horticulture? Sinasabi ko sa inyo, ito yung pag-aaral tulad ng mga pomology, horticulture, floriculture, ornamentals, nursery management, farm management. They are under horticulture. Okay, horticultural classification. Okay? So kaya nga, ang sabi dito, classification based mainly on cultural requirement kasi lahat naman yun sila, mga pomology, they are using cultural method also, and then and the ultimate use of the crop. So within each group, anong group sila under, so that's what we call horticultural classification. Okay? Naintindihan niyo ba? Did you understand the system of classification? Okay, so bukas gagawa ako ng questions, practical situational questions with regards on the system of classification, ha? Okay, now, this is a herbs. This is a classification of crops based on the growth habits. Okay? Based on the growth habits. Lumabas ito sa board exam also, ang question na to. So we have herbs, vines, shrubs, and trees. Okay, crops are classified as herbs, vines, shrubs, and trees. Paano malaman na herb siya? Always remember na ang herbs ay wala siyang supported stems. Wala siyang supported stems. Kumbaga, yung stem niya ay hindi kayang lumaki, hindi kayang mag-support na mag-grow, mag-grow, okay? Example lang herbs ay oregano. Oh, example ng herbs yan. Ano pa example ng herbs? Repolyo. Yon. Yung alam niyo ba yung tinatawag na mga head crops or crown crops? O, ano yung mga crown crops? Repolyo. Ano pa? Cauliflower. Broccoli. Not cauliflower, broccoli. Parang broccoli ata yun. Yun. Mga crown crops. Yun. So, yung ulo ba, kinukuha. Yun. So, that's example of herbs. Meron pa, pechay, mustasa, they are herbs. Yun. At saka isa pa, tomato. Yun. Tomato is also a herbs. Bakit herbs po ang tomato? Pansin nyo naman, di ba? Hindi siya woody ang stem ng tomato. Hindi siya woody type. Hindi siya brown-brown. Like green-green siya. Ganun. Or light green. Yung, di ba? And then, madali lang siyang maputol din yung tomato. Okay? Yung eggplant po ba, sir, ay herbs? No. Ang eggplant is an example of shrubs. Kasi nga, as you can see, as you can also, as you can classify, as you can classify, yung talong, yung stem niya, that is a shrubs. Kasi you need to use a budding knife or budding tool para makat siya. No? Unlike sa tomato, ganun, baliin mo lang, mabali lang agad siya. Okay, and then you have also vines. Ano nga ba yung vines? Yung vines, kailangan meron siyang or kumakatay. No, how you're going to identify vines? Actually, there are a lot of things, there are a lot of terms to identify vines. Number one is the tendrils. You need to know the tendrils. Ano nga ba yung tendrils? Can you still remember yung, di ba sa ampalaya, meron example, this is the stem here, tapos sa ampalaya, meron parang ganyan, curly type, nag-curl na ganyan, okay lo, yung mga curl na ganyan. Basta, yung parang pabilog na curly siya, para siyang noodles, yun. So, that is what we call tendrils. So, that is, tawag dyan. So, that's how you're going to identify vines. Kasi yung tendrils na yun, ang gawain kasi ng tendrils ay kumakapit doon sa kanyang, sa ginagamitan na kahoy or wood na pang-support. Sa ginagamitang pang-support. So, tendrils ang tawag doon. Okay? Nung time namin, yung nag-aaral pa lang kami nung time na yun, para maalala ko siya, nakakalimutan ko siya, nagkuha ako ng sample ng tendrils, ampalaya, tapos ni-preserve ko siya, nilagay ko siya sa preserve, ginamitan ko ng silica gel, yun, silica gel. So, ginamitan ko ng silica gel, nilagay ko siya doon for 2 to 3 hours, nilagay ko siya sa loob sa isang garapon. Tapos, siyempre, ma-preserve naman yun siya doon sa loob na mag-dry. So, yun. Nilagay ko siya sa notebook ko nung time na yun. So, yun. Para sabi ko para hindi ko siya makalimutan. So, this is a 10 drills. Yun. Kaya ngayon, hindi ko siya nakakalimutan. So, that's a 10 drills. Okay? So, that's how you're going to identify vines. Okay? And then we have shrubs. Okay? Shrubs. Example, we have the rose, bougainvillea. What else? There's a lot of ornamental plants. They are shrubs. Okay? Okay. And then we have trees. So what are those? As long as yung shrubs niya is mid-woody or not that totally woody like a trees. Kasi ang trees, ang tawag dun sa stem niya is trunk. Ang tawag dun sa tree, sa ano niya, sa woody part ng trees, yung stem niya is trunk. Ang tawag doon. Okay? How you're going to know, sir, paano ba malaman na ito ay considered as trees? Para malaman na consider siya as trees, basta yung height niya is 7 foot. Okay, 7 foot. 7 feet pala, 7 foot na lang tuloy. 7 feet. 7 feet or ilang ano ba yun? 2 meters ata yun? Or 5 meters? Ay, hindi, mahaba na masyadong 5 meters. 2 meter, 1, 2, 3, basta 7 feet. Okay, 7 feet. Yun na nakalagay, it's 7 feet. Convert nyo na lang sa meter. Okay, so, ma-considered na siya as trees. So, we have actually a grass na, tawag doon? We have grass actually na na considered as trees, and we have bamboo, di ba? The bamboo is a grass under the family of grass because of its characteristics. As you can see, it's like a sedges. Diba? Sedges yung kanyang stems. Pero, and also the internodes, as you can see, no, ma-identify ninyo. And then, grass ba siya? Or, the tallest grass. Okay. Parang sedges kasi yung niya, yung leaves niya, it's parallel type but internodes. Sige lang, we'll tackle about that when we call pag umabot tayo sa width. Basta the bottom line here, I mean my point there is that yung bamboo is considered as trees because it is tall, no? Mataas siya. No, mataas siya. Ma-considered na siya as trees. Pero nga minsan nakikita ko like yung mga bougainvillea, lumalaki talaga na parang puno. Parang ginagawa na nila ng, ang tawag dyan? Pwede na parang, ginagawa na nila ng parang, na siya, tent na yung pang cover, sa baba nagpipiknik sila. Ganun. Pwede din yun. Minsan sinasabi siya na bougainvillea tree. As long as, pag sinabing tree ay naaakyatan, ganun, naaakyatan, tsaka, din siya. At the same time, yung kanyang stem ay matigas. Yun. Okay? So, that is what we call trees. Okay. So, the question that come out sa board exam, tinanong doon, kung paano ba mag-propagate ng, ano ba yung question doon? Paano daw mag-propagate ng, ano ang method na ginagamit sa pag-propagate ng sweet potato? Yun ang tanong. Ano ang method na ginagamit sa pag-propagate ng sweet potato? Or kamoteng kahoy. Yung kamote, yung sa ating talbos ng kamote, yun. So, yun ang tanong sa board exam. So, the correct answer for that, tas yung tinanong doon, ano daw, stem, stem cutting ba daw? Ganun ang sabi. Stem cutting, grafting, vines cutting method, or hindi ko na alam. Seeds ba yun ang term? So, the correct answer for that is vines. Okay? Always remember, guys, pag like yan sa mga sweet potato, di ba? Have you encountered like alugbati, sweet potato, ano pa ba? Yung, di ba pag ginagamitan natin, kumukuha tayo ng stem cut, hindi po yung stem cut tawag doon. It's a vine cutting. Okay? Vine cutting ang tawag doon, tapos tinatanim natin. So, sa Hawaii, yan ang ginagamit nila. Hawaii and Taiwan, yan ang method na ginagamit nila sa pag-tanim ng mga vine crops. Yun. Sir, paano pag sa ampalaya? So, ampalaya, sexual production, reproduction. Kasi hindi naman nagagamit yung vines nun. So, that should be a sexual reproduction. Kasi through seeds kasi yun eh. Okay? Nagets po ninyo? Sir, paano pag mga pet shy, ganon. Siyempre, sexual production, ganon pa rin. Yun. Paano pag sir, when is the time na masabi natin na stem cutting siya? Pag shrubs or ayun, shrubs or trees. Not trees totally. Let's say shrubs like mga rose, 'di ba? Stem cuttings yung mga rose. Ano pa? Meron pa mga flowers na stem cuttings, madaming klaseng stem cuttings na flowers. Okay? Meron din ginagamitan for production leaves. Yun, yung tulad ng katakataka. Yun, reproduction din yun. Okay? Sa trees naman, we can use other method tulad ng grafting, enarching, marketing, yun. Pwede din yun. Okay? Or air layering. Okay? So that is under reproduction. So now we can still be focus tayo dun sa based on growth habits. Next is this one, based on the mode of reproduction. Okay, last night may nagtanong sa akin, sir, ano daw yung corm? Okay, yung corm po, that is under asexual, that is under stem of modification of stem. Okay, that's under modification of stem. I-discuss po natin yan once we already reach po sa physiology tsaka morphological characteristics ng plants. Okay? Exciting part yun po yan kasi lumalabas talaga sa board exam yan. Okay, so we have classification of crops based on the mode of reproduction. We have asexual and sexual reproduction. Okay, para hindi kayo maguluhan sa word ng asexual and sexual, always remember, ang A sa asexual refers to artificial. Okay? That is defined as artificial. Ibig sabihin po niyan ay artificial. Ay, sorry. Kaya sinabi siyang, basta artificial yan ha. Okay. Kabili din tayo soon ng may pen. So we have, pag sinabing asexual, meaning artificial. Pag sinabing sexual, ang S na yan refer to seeds. Seeds. Bakit siya ganito? Okay, sa slide siguro to. So, it refers to seeds. Okay? So, undergoes fertilization to produce viable seeds. Pwede din, tawag yun sa bees ba? Ano nga tawag dun? Yung bees
Mag-pollinate, sir.
Pollination. Sorry, pollination. Pollination pala tawag doon. Pollination. Yan. Minsan nakakalimutan na. So, pollination, pwede din pollination sa sexual production. Reproduction. Ayan. Asexual. Ayan. We have vegetative means, pwedeng tubers. Ano nga ba yung tubers, sir? Ano nga ba yung bulbs, rhizomes, runners? Okay. So, didiscuss lang natin yan pag naka-reach na tayo sa morphological characteristics, ha? Okay. Now, these are the based on habitats. What are you going to do? Sir, okay. So this will be your assignment. Hopefully lahat po ng mga assignment yung sinabi ko sa inyo na assignment nung last time ay naano nyo po yun ha. Please, hopefully na-search niyo yun. Na-search nyo ba? Sino ang nakapag-search nyo? Taas ang kamay. Very good. Okay, very good. So, isend ko sa inyo yung aking na-search, ha? Para parehas tayo. Okay, nasend ko na sa GC. So, yan ang aking na-search. So, check it. Okay. Ilagay niyo na lang din sa, ano ninyo, sa slides ninyo. Very good. Yung iba na na-search talaga. So, we have Larissa, Burnett, Kimberly. Thank you. And, okay, very good. Burnett, Kimberly. Okay. Okay, very good for that. So, since we are done with that, so kindly put that in your palagay sa inyong notes. Okay? Isulat, isulat, or isulat. Isulat talaga ang term. Isulat sa inyong notes. Kung meron kayong kung meron kayong sticky notes, pwede din yan. Idikit ninyo malapit sa related topics. Colorful talaga ang kalabasan ng manual pag ganun. Okay, next we have okay, next is we have another classification of crops based on habitat. Okay, another classification of crops based on habitat. So number 1, we have parasitic. Okay, pag sinabing parasitic, ano ibig sabihin ng parasitic? Okay? Ano nga ba yung parasitic? Bakit siya sinabi na parasitic plants? Kasi pag sinabi natin parasitic plants, it means that nakakahawa siya sa iba niyang kasama. Okay? A parasitic plant, no, it is derives some or all of its nutritional requirements from another living plant. Okay? So, kumukuha siya ng ibang nutrients sa ibang plants. So, that is what we call parasitic plants. Okay? And, para na siyang tinatawag nating allelopathy. You know what's allelopathy? Okay? Allelopathy. Okay. Pag sinabing allelopathy, ito yun. Yung tinatawag na nagpo-produce siya, kinukuha niya yung nutrients sa kabilang plants. Pagkatapos nagpo-produce siya ng chemical para mamatay yung mga neighbor plants niya. Okay. So, that is what we call allelopathy. Nagpo-produce siya ng chemical hormones. Yun. And then we have parasitic. We have example of parasitic. We have Duder and Rafflesia. Okay, so Rafflesia is considered as the biggest flower. Okay? Considered as biggest flower, that is Rafflesia. Saan usually makakita ng Rafflesia? Sa Mount Apo. Rafflesia, kita yan sa Mount Apo. Okay, example ng parasitic, we have the Duder and Rafflesia. Okay, next we have epiphytes. Okay, epiphytes is what we call from the word itself, epi, meaning epic, taas, yon. Which is, pagtaas, it's an air plants. Ano klaseng plants yan? Air plants. Air, hanging plants. O ganon, hanging plants or air plants. Okay? Always remember, pag epiphytes, ito yung mga plants that grow on top. From the word itself, epi meaning top. Top. Okay? Grow on top. Top. Oh, baby, yo. Ganon. Oh, the one I love. Yun. So that is epi. So meaning top or air plants. Okay? Nag-grow sila on top of their plants. No? Nakadikit sila sa plants. Or typically sa mga trees. Typically sa mga trees yan. So we have coexisting in the most harmonious and harmless way. So, saan na-derive yung nutrients nila and other vitals nila? Yung paano sila mabuhay, no? Na-derive yan from the air, from the water, from the dust and debris around them. Or yung mga decomposed around them. Okay? So, that is epiphytes. So, example, we have the orchids. Ano pa? Fern. Yon. Ano pa? Kabkabon. You know what's kabkabon? Yung malaki talaga siya na ano, malaki talaga siya na fern. Basta malaki, dapat nakadikit siya sa ano, nakadikit siya sa trees. Yon. So, example yan ng epiphytes. Okay, or air plant. Next, we have saprophyte. Okay, what is saprophytes? Okay, what do you mean by saprophytes or saprophytic plants? Okay, so this is a plants that obtain the food from the dead and decaying bodies, okay, of other organisms are called saprophytic plants. O, saan daw galing? Saan daw galing ang saprophytes? Sa dead and decaying bodies. Okay. So, example ng saprophytes ay mushroom. Yon. Example ng saprophytes ay mushroom. Yeast. Ano pa example ng saprophytes? Indian pipe. Yon. Indian pipe. Andyan o pala, Indian pipe. Coralloriza. Coralloriza. Yon. Mycorrhizal fungi. Yon. That's example of saprophytes. Basta, they obtain their food from the dead and decaying bodies of other organisms. Matay na o may natutubo na. Okay? So, example, mushroom, pinaka example dun. Pinaka-the best na example. Kasi common yun sa Pilipinas. Next is we have terrestrial plants or crops. Okay? What do you mean by terrestrial? From the word is of terrestrial, ibig sabihin po niyan, yan yung mga type ng grass, a plant, grass tuloy, sorry. A plant, a terrestrial plant is a plant that grows on, in, or from land. Okay? So, actually, there are also types of terrestrial plants. We have aquatic types of plants. We have aquatic, epiphytic, and lithophytic. Okay, so there are also plants na there are also plants that are aquatic, epiphytic, and lithophytic. So always remember, pag terrestrial, ito yung sinasabing land dwelling. Ano ibig sabihin ng pag terrestrial, ibig sabihin sa lupa lang talaga siya. Okay? Terrestrial. Terrestrial. Ibig sabihin, land dwelling siya. Okay. Ibig sabihin, sa lupa lang talaga. Lahat na nakikita nyo sa lupa ng mga flowers, crops, and there are terrestrial. Okay? Invasive plants include non-native plants that grow in non-aquatic habitats. O non-aquatic ha? Sa mga non-aquatic habitats. So what are examples of terrestrial para mas madaling maintindihan? We have banana tree, coconut tree, orchids, ferns. Those are example of terrestrial. Yung nakikita natin sa ating ecosystem. So those are example of terrestrial plants. Nagets nyo ba? Naintindihan ba? Baka pag magbigay ako bukas ng ng postes, hindi naintindihan. Mababa pa rin ang score. Okay? Next, number 5. We have what we call mesophyte. So, what do you mean by mesophyte? So, some of you, mayroon na talagang idea about mesophyte kasi nga one time naging trending talaga ito si mesophytes. So when you talk about mesophytes, that is a terrestrial plants which are neither adapted to particular dry nor particular wet environments. So both, pwede siya sa dry at pwede din siya sa wet. Adapted siya to moderate conditions o kahit anong klaseng conditions, adapted siya. So there are mesophyte. For example ata ng mesophyte, rice, corn, those are example of mesophyte. ano yun, no? Moderate, wet, or dry. Parang tao din. Minsan nagwe-wet, minsan nagda-dry. Okay. Excuse me. Yeah. Bakit ako gano'n? Okay, always remember na hindi lahat ng corn are mesophyte. At saka hindi din lahat ng rice are mesophyte. Some of the rice are semi-aquatic. Especially yung mga nasa lowland area. Yun. Rice is semi-aquatic. Pero, meron ding rice na mesophyte. Mesophytic din siya. Kasi pag mesophytic siya or mesophytic or mesophyte, dapat adapted siya sa middle water conditions and typical temperate. So we have rice, semi-aquatic, tapos meron din man rice na moderate lang. Yun. So corn din, hindi lahat mesophyte. Okay? Next, we have number 6, xerophyte. Okay? Xerophyte. So what do you mean? What is the other example pala ng mesophyte? Okay? So the other example for mesophyte is, excuse me. Yun, corn, cucurbits, goldenrod, clover. Yun, example yun siya ng mesophytes. Potato, kamatis. Yun, example din po yun ng mesophyte. Okay, next we have the xerophyte. Ilang ha? Okay, so we have also the xerophytes. What is xerophytes? Zero, sir. Okay, pag sinabing xerophytes, that is, actually meron lang din man tayo niya sa Pilipinas eh. Pag sinabing xerophytes, those are plants that are adapted to very dry conditions with a lot of sun exposure. Example, cactus, yun. Succulents. So those are examples of xerophytes. Ibig sabihin, gusto-gusto. Sun-loving sila. Xerophytes, it means, they love sun. They love very dry conditions. Yun. So that is xerophytes. Okay, next we have aquatic or hydrophytes. What do you mean by hydrophytes? Always remember from the word itself, hydro meaning water. Okay, hydro meaning water. It has a relationship between the water and the plants. Ganon. So aquatic plants are plants that have adapted to living in aquatic environments. Saan? Living in aquatic environments. They are also referred to as hydrophytes or macrophytes. Okay? Okay, hydrophytes, sometimes known as macrophytes. Okay. Yon. So example ng hydrophytes, we have water lily, yan, water lettuce, white water lily, azolla, there are hydrophytes. Okay. So what do you mean by, next, we have what do you mean by halophytes? Sir, what do you mean by halophytes? So halophytes, ito yung mga type ng plant na gusto-gusto ang maalat. Oh, halo meaning maalat. Okay? Halo. A halophyte is a salt-tolerant plant that grows in soil or waters of high salinity. High salinity. Pag sinabing salinity, salin, maalat. Yon. So nagkaroon yan sila ng contact between the saline water and also the roots. Okay? So that's why halophytes. So best example for halophytes, we have coconut. Yon, coconut, mangroves, they are example of halophytes. Okay? Mangroves talaga. Klaro. Pero pag sa crops naman, hindi naman tayo fisheries, no? Coconut, yon. Coconut, they love saline water. Okay, they are salt tolerant. Okay. Next, we have cyophytes. So what is cyophytes? Cyophytes are shade-loving trees and plants. So ito, lumabas ito sa board exam. Okay? Lumabas ito sa board exam. Okay, so example ng cyophytes are yung mga lanzones, yon, coffee, cacao, yan, black pepper, ginger. There are examples of cyophytes. Yan, cyophytes. Yan. So example po yan ng cyophytes. Cyophytes are shade-loving trees and plants. Ibig sabihin, ayaw nila sa masyadong mainit. Yon. Gusto nila sa ayaw nila pala sa mainit, sorry. Ayaw nila sa mainit. Gusto nila sa ano lang, medyo slight lang. Yon. So that is an example of cyophytes. Okay? Shade-loving plants. Okay. So next, what is heliophyte? Okay. And heliophyte is loving plants. Okay. It is a nawawalan ako ng signal. Ayun. So, love na love niya. Okay. Okay. So, heliophytes, ulitin ko. Heliophytes, these plants is sun-loving plants. Yun. Sun-loving. Gusto nila ng init. High sunlight intensity. Yun. Okay, example ng heliophytes is mango, manga. Yun, yung mga trees, nakikita ninyo, they love sun. So, you have manga, pwede din, mango. Yes, Nariza. If you raise your hand.
Sir, ano pong pinagkaiba niya sa xerophyte?
Xerophyte, na minimin mo, sorry. Xerophyte,
Opo.
okay.
Opo.
Ang pinagkaiba na, thank you very much for that, Neriza. Good question yan. Okay. Ang xerophytes, and parehas naman sila na sa, gusto sa mainit, right? No? Adapted siya in little moisture. Always remember, pag xerophyte, they can live in a dry condition. Dry ha, dry. Like sa mga deserto, ganon. They can live it. They can live in a little moisture. While heliophytes, gusto lang nila sun-loving, but still they need moisture. Gets na natin? Yun ang pinagkaiba nila. Ang xerophyte, both sun, tapos gusto nila yung dry. Kasi they can make their own. They can store water in the evening kasi, in the night. So, pagka morning, no, pag malakas na talagang init, no, they can store it and they can make it on their own food. While heliophytes, no, gising yung kanilang stomata in the morning kasi nga because they need sunlight. So, heliophytes is sun-loving plants and kailangan din nila ng water management. Yun. Ang xerophyte, hindi na kailangan ng water management. Nagets na ba? Okay. Okay, next is, okay, so, did you get now, did you understand the based on habit type or classification of crops? Did you get it? Sir Burnett, naintindihan ba? Kanapi, naintindihan
Yes,
nyo
sir.
ba? Okay, sige ha. Expected ko tomorrow na hindi kayo babagsak, hindi kayo lowest score. Okay, next we have, okay, there's also classification of crops that is based on leaf retention. Ano ibig sabihin ng leaf retention? Sa leaves. Okay, sa leaves yan. Okay, pag sinabi sa leaves, kasi merong leaves na nahuhulog, no, nalalanta. Tapos merong leaves na green na green. Okay. So, always remember, pag sinabing deciduous, okay, deciduous plants, ito yung plants na, nafo-fall yung leaves annually. Nag-change siya ng leaves annually. While evergreen, it will stay green until, no, paano sir, yung mga matured na. Ganito po, nagpo-produce muna ng panibagong leaves na green bago siya magda-dry. Yun. So, pag nag-dry siya, hindi siya masyadong makita kasi nga manipis yan sila. So, usually, yung mga evergreen, nakikita natin yan sa landscape. Okay? Sa mga landscape. Mga evergreen, merong mga bamboo, ganon. Tapos, pag deciduous, kailangan, ayun, sa annual yan. Annually. Tapos, nag-change. Rubber. Ang rubber, pag tag-init na, o fall na yung leaves. Tapos, mag-change na naman siya ng panibago. Fire tree. Okay? Yun, fire tree. Ba? Acacia. O, Nara tree. Yun. Okay, next we have another classification of crops based on purpose. Okay, what is that? Based on purpose. Number one, we have cereals or grain crops. Okay, ano nga ba yung cereals and grain crops? We have corn, rice, wheat, sorghum. Yun. So, how about legumes crop? Mga leguminous crop. Okay? So, you are going to search for it. Search for the examples. Okay? I-search ninyo mga examples. Hindi lang kayo nagde-defend kay sir kung ano lang sinasabi ni sir, yun lang din ang naging examples. Tomorrow, there are a lot of questions with regards to the examples of this. Example, tanungin ko ganun. Rice, an example of what classification of crops? Tayo na bahala magsagot nun. Tapos may multiple choices, cereal, legumes, root crops, gano'n. Okay? Next, we have root crops. Okay? Ano nga ba yung root crops? Can someone give me an example of root crops? You can unmute your microphone.
Potato, sir.
Potato? Potato ba?
Cassava, sir.
Kasaba, sir.
Cassava? Ano pa? Carrot?
Ubi, sir.
Ube.
Ube?
Sweet potato.
Sige.
Carrots.
Lahat ng yan ay ma-fix na yan. Kasi ngayon, medyo doubt pa talaga, sir. Ano kasi ito, sir? Root crops ba talaga to, sir? Di ba? Nagda-doubt pa tayo ganyan. No worries. I-discuss ni sir yan sa inyo sa modification. Okay? Para ma-clear na yung isipan ninyo. Kung ito ba ay root, ito ba ay... Okay? So, ayun. Basta, hanap lang kayo. Search nyo lang sa Google yung example ng root crops. Okay? Next is fiber crops. So, ano-ano ang mga fiber crops? Example of fiber crops.
Cotton, sir.
Ano pa?
Jute, sir. Jute.
Jute? Si Eric Jute. Okay. Ano pa? Wala, hindi nyo alam yung mga fiber crops? Can we have pineapple? Abaca? Abaca? Pineapple. Yun, those are fiber crops. Okay. What else? Oil crops. Example of oil crops.
Palm oil, sir. Coconut bean. Sunflower.
Okay, very good. How about sugar crops?
Sugar beet, sir.
Sugar cane.
Sugar cane, sir.
Sugar cane, ano pa? Meron akong hinihintay na isa pang sugar crops.
Sugar beet.
Sugar
Sugar
beet,
beet,
ano
sir.
pa? Yung pinaka sweetest crops.
Okay.
Stevia, sir.
Stevia, very good. It is stevia. Stevia, ayan. Stevia is the sweetest sugar crops. Okay, next we have another based on purpose sa isang classification is pasture or forage crops. Anong pasture or forage crops?
Paragrass, sir.
Very good.
Napier.
Paragrass, napier grass, sour grass, sumunabing grass. Okay? And then how about beverage crops?
Coffee,
Grapes.
cacao.
Coffee, cacao, grapes. Very good. How about spices, condiments, essences?
Pepper.
Pepper.
Black pepper.
Capsicum. Ano pa? Chili. Ano pa?
Turmeric.
Turmeric. Good. Turmeric. Okay. How about latex and resins?
Rubber, sir.
Chico.
Rubber. Very
Ayan.
good. Ano pa?
Chico, sir. Papaya.
Very good. Chico, papaya. Very good. Alam na alam ah. Next, number 11. Parang bukas hindi tayo ma-zero nito. Parang maraming paka sa bukas nito. Number 11. Medicinal and poison crops.
Tagundi.
Oregano.
Sambo.
Sambong. Ano pa?
Lagundi, sir, sa Katubat.
Opo.
Tubiko.
Yon. Sige lang. Hanapan ko ng paraan yung mga list of medicinal crops. Tapos meron yung scientific name. Lumalabas kasi yun sa board exam. May mga list yun sila. Tapos send ko lang sa inyo. Ha? Kasi hindi ko yan na-include sa manual ninyo as far as remember. As far as I remember, wala yan nakasama sa manual ninyo. Hanapin ko yun kasi malabas sa board exam yan. Pati yung scientific name niya. And then we have welcome. That's the part of being an instructor. Okay, so we have number 12, vegetables. So there are vegetables also. Roots, vegetables, leafy, stem, flowers, and fruits. So what are you going to do? You are going, sa mga roots, we have carrots, radish. Pag leafy, we have pechay, mustasa, ano pa? Repolyo, yon. Kangkong, stem, ano pa? Kangkong, pwede din stem kangkong. Ano pa? Stem. Pwede kaya kainin ng stem ng kangkong. Ano pa?
Asparagus, sir.
Asparagus. Sorry, asparagus pala. Hindi kasi ako laging kumakain ng asparagus. Ano pa?
Sir, may tanong ako.
Yes, ano yung tanong mo?
Yung gabi, sir, saan ba kabilang yun?
Gabi. Sa stem po yun. That is under stem modification. Corm.
Stem siya,
Corm.
sir, di ba?
Yes.
Okay po.
Yung
Paano
corm
po
niya,
pag yung sa may ano niya, sir, yung tawag dun sa laman niya?
yun sa laman niya, that is a corm. That is a
Corm.
stem. Yan po ang true stem ng gabi. Bali yung kinakain
Okay.
natin, na matigas, stem po yun. Hindi po yun roots. Corm po yun, corm. Under the modification of stem. Pwede din natin gamitin yung leaves ng di ba? Ng gabi. Yung leaves, ginagawa natin ng tigre-tigre. Yung sa
Yes,
mga
sir.
subanen, meron ganyan eh. Ano pa? Flowers. Broccoli, cauliflower, ano pa? Favorite ko yun eh. Ano pa? Mga flower. Squash. Masarap yun. Pagata, masarap. And then we have fruits. Vegetable fruits. What are those? Tomato, eggplant, ano pa? Baka sabihin nyo sa akin apple, suntukin ko kayo. Apple, vegetable? Orange, vegetable? Fruit yan. Fruits talaga yun. Iba naman yung fruit, vegetables. Okay, right after flower, magkaroon ng fruits, di ba? So we have tomato, ano pa? Eggplant, okra, very good. Ano pa? Basta marami. Yun. Coconut. Yun. Pwede din yun. Okay. So that is an example of based on purpose classification. Okay? Next, we have fruits. Ito na. Yung mga fruits ng grapes, apple, yun, orange, mandarin, example. Yun, those are example of fruits. So here now sa ornamentals. Listen carefully. Nabasa ito sa exam because some of you do not know about these things. Okay? Pag sinabing ornamentals, okay na yun kasi plants yun, ornamentals yun. Masasabi ni sir, ornamentals, yun na yun. Guys, when you talk about ornamentals, it is in general term with the flower. May flower o wala, still ornamentals pa rin yun. Okay? Pag sinabing ornamentals, they are being divided into 6. Okay? So we have first, cut flowers. Ano yung cut flowers? Yun yung nakikita ninyo, okay, yun yung nakikita ninyo sa bouquet. Diba? Sa mga bouquet, may nakikita kayo ng mga flowers doon na cut. Ang tawag dyan ay cut flowers. There are ornamentals na ang ginagamit lang ay yung flowers binibenta. Okay? Next, you have cut foliage. Ano yung cut foliage? Diba sa bouquet, may nakikita kayong mga leaves, right, na ginagamit. Ang tawag dyan ay foliage. Cut foliage ang tawag dyan. Okay? Cut foliage. Ito yung laging lumalabas sa exam. It's either cut flowers or si cut foliage lang lumalabas or si turf ang lumalabas sa exam. Okay? And then we have flowering flowering pot. Ano yung flowering pot? Ito na yung magtatanim ka ng flowers sa mismong pot. Okay? And then we have landscape plants. What are those landscape plants? We have evergreen, Bermuda, Carabao grass, and other plants, right? And then we have foliage plants. Ano yung mga foliage plants? Ito yung mga plants na hindi talaga namumulaklak. Ang pinakamaganda lang sa kanya is yung kanyang leaves, tulad ng mga wave of love. Oh, yan. Alam ko yun kasi meron akong bulaklak nun Okay? Ano pa ba? Yung ornamentals lang, palmeras. Yun. Isa din yun. Foliage lang yun kasi kailangan lang. Yung leaves lang yung pinakamaganda dun no? Next is we have the turf. Pag sinabing turf, ito yung mga Bermuda, Carabao grass na ginagamit. Ang turf kasi, that is social term. Yun. It's a social term na, social term ba siya ba na ginagamit for landscape? Yun. Oo. Yan ay tinatawag na turf. Yung pwedeng mag-picnic, pwedeng higaan, pwedeng ba? Okay? Yung hindi siya makate sa katawan ng tao. Yun. So, that is what we call turf. Nagets ninyo? Maganda sa mata ng mga tao Naintindihan na ninyo? Very good. Okay. So, tomorrow, there are questions na I will be giving you a 50 items post test about this classification of crops. Ang dami naman, sir. Of course, kasi madami akong magagawa na questions galing sa classification of crops. Okay? So, dapat ngayong gabi, more on research kayo sa mga examples. Okay? Ano ang gagawin ngayong gabi? Mag-search sa mga examples. Nagets ninyo? Kuha? Okay, next. Another special group of classification of crops, we have green manure. So what is green manure? Ito ha. Pakinig mabuti, what is green manure? Pag sinabing green manure, ito yung hindi manure ha, tulad ng tae ng hindi ganon. Pag sinabi nating green manure, ito yung mga manure na nanggaling sa mga decomposed plants. 'Di ba? Pag nahuhulog ang leaves, pag nahulog ang leaves, tapos nadadryan siya, nagde-decompose. So that is what we call green manure. Tapos minsan, di ba, pag sa rice field, after natin mag-harvest, tapos pinapabayaan po na siya ng ilang araw, tapos maraming weeds na tumutubo. Okay, then after that, nagtitil na tayo or nagko-cultivate na tayo. Ang tawag po doon, di ba, napupunta sa baba yung, napupunta sa baba yung, tawag dyan, yung kinultivate natin ng mga weeds, ang tawag doon ay green manuring. Okay? Green manuring. Crops yan. Okay? Hindi yan siya tae. Okay? And then we have cover crops. So, ano yung mga cover crops? There's a lot of cover crops. And one thing I know lang, lately, yung nalaman ko na Mukuta ba yun, Nakalimutan ko na yung term. Basta ganon. It's letter M, it's mukuta. Mukuta ba yun? Sige lang. Hanapin ko yung term noon. That's the cover crops used here in the Philippines. Sa mga palm oil farm, ginagamit nila yun. Mucosa pala. Mucosa bacteriata. Mucosa bacteriata. Pag alam niyo yung yung spelling, pag na-google niyo yan, so search na lang ha. It's Mucosa bacteriata. It's a cover crops na ginagamit to ano yung tawag doon? Term yun, no? Reorganize the nitrogen cycle in the soil. Kasi nga, sa palm oil yung ginagamit. Yun. And then we have companion crop. Yun. Companion crop, are you familiar with the story of the three sisters? Si corn, si squash, at saka si sitaw. Okay? Si corn ang nagiging foundation kung saan kumakatay si sitaw. Diba? And then si squash naman, nasa baba lang siya to neutralize the soil. Oo, to boost nitrogen for the corn. So there are the three sisters. Okay? So ano naman yung trap crop? Ito yung mga crop na ginagamit to trap the pests and diseases. Example ng mga pests tulad ng daga, no? Mouse, no? Sa rice field. Di ba sa rice field? Sa rice field, sa gilid-gilid may tinatanim silang trap crop na galay kamote or kamote, no? Or sweet potato. Kasi nga, doon pa lang sa tomato, nabubusog na yung mouse. Hindi na sila papasok doon sa rice. Dahil meron, doon pa lang sa tomato, marami na silang makukuha. Tsaka trap crop talaga yung tomato. Okay? For example yon, tomato and sweet potato and rice is the best example of trap crop. Next, we have catch crops. What are those catch crops? Ito yung mga crops na, tawag dyan, crops na, yung bang yung nanguhuli ng huli. Charot. Catch crops. Fast-growing crop that is grown between successive plantings of main crop. It is a specific type of cover crop that is grown between two main crops. Okay. So, this is example. Catch crops revolve around plant species that have short growing season, okay. Cash crop daw is a fast-growing crop that is grown between successful planting of a main crop. It is a specific type of cover crop that is grown between two main crops. Example, ganito. Drawing ko, ha? Example, ito. Ito yung, okay. Example, ito yung corn. Tapos sa kabila, may ibang crops din. Okay. So, saan dito si catch crops? Si catch crop, nasa gilid siya. Cover crop yan siya na dito siya nasa gilid siya ng dalawang main crops. Ito yung main crops mo. Ito yung main crops mo. So, nasa gitna siya ng dalawang main crops mo. Cover crops yan siya. So, anong ginagawa dyan ni catch crops? No, ang ginagawa niya dyan to prevent other weeds, no, para hindi mag-agaw ng nutrients. At the same time, ninoneutralize niya yung soil. Tsaka yung nitrogen na kailangan din ng crops. Yun. And then we have soilage. Sir, ano po pinagkaiba ng soilage sa silage? Soilage po, ibig sabihin, from the word itself, soil, okay, cut and carry. Ibig sabihin, ikakat mo, ikikarry mo, ipapakain mo sa hayop. That is cut and carry, which is soilage. Yung silage naman, ito yung, from the word itself, soil, ibig sabihin, kakainin pa yan ng, from the word itself ba, soil or soilage, ibig sabihin, kakainin yan ng animals mo na may, may soil, may lupa, ganon. Okay? And then, we have silage. Okay, silage or silage, from the word itself, silage. Okay, silage. Meaning fermentation. Yun. Nagfe-ferment ka ng mga legume scraps. Yun. Silage, no? Nagfe-ferment ka. Okay? Yung mga forage crops pala, sorry, legume scraps ulit. Pero din mga legume scraps gamitin siya mag-ferment. Para tumaas, ang reason kasi nun, para tumaas yung protein content ng forage. Okay? Example, pwede mong isilage yung corn, mga legume scraps nga talaga. Grasses, yun. Example ng grasses, yung kami is Napier grass ginamit namin sa pag-silage. Stargrass. Yun, ginamit namin stargrass. Okay? So that is the difference between the soilage and the silage. Nagets ninyo? Because it's already 10, 16. So it should be, okay. Did you get it, guys? Nagintindihan nyo ba? Okay, very good. Hopefully, naintindihan ninyo ang class natin tonight. Because tomorrow, there will be a 50 items na post-test about the classification of crops. Naintindihan po? Oo! Ganun agad, kay Sir. Oo! Okay, kamsahamnida. 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 Okay, next na tayo sa ating class next time. Unit 3 na tayo. Okay, so again, this class is recorded and it will be posted either sa YouTube, both YouTube and Google Drive. So mamaya pa ito mga 12 na ibigay sa akin ni Google Meet. And then, ang slides ay isesend po doon sa... Okay, very good, JM, because yan ang natama mo. Ayan, so, ano tawag doon? Ilalagay ko na din siya sa G-Drive, pati yung test kagabi. Kahapon pala. Okay, tomorrow is your post-test. Doon pa rin ha, 8 p.m. pa rin tayo. If ever na hindi ko maano, yun. Thank you very much kung sino may nagpaalala sa akin last night. 8:30 na pala, hindi ko na ano, sabi ko. Okay, send ko na pala. Nakalimutan ko kasi may puntahan kasi ako kagabi. So tomorrow, ganun din ang mangyayari. Okay? So exam, tapos post-test, tapos answers, tapos i-review nyo na mabuti ha, yung inyo. And then mag-check din kayo sa manual ninyo. Read in your manual advance. Okay? Para magdagdag na lang ng knowledge sir sa inyo. Okay? Okay, thank you very much everyone. Ano nga ang closing spiel ni sir? Kamsahamnida. Anyong hecho mo sa'yo. Chara sa'yo. Anyong hega sa'yo. Bye everyone. Kamsahamnida. Kamsahamnida. Anyong hecho mo sa'yo. Chara sa'yo everyone. Anyong hega sa'yo. Bye-bye. Bibigay lang ako ng sked, ha? Kung ano yung availability. Minsan kasi nawawala ng internet.